preparing to live stream.
Okay. Welcome to our last series of the
Hold on
workshop.
1 second.
Okay.
I'll tell you when to go.
Okay. Hey, welcome to the last series of the workshop. Eagle Announce for Disability by me, Eustace, Michaela, and Duane and Larkin. So we are here to talk about the harm in the environment, like water pollution, land pollution, plastic pollution, and global warming, to talk about what we can do to make the environment a better place. Okay. Water pollution.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? So today we're gonna be talking about water pollution first. So just so y'all know, there's four main reasons that causes water pollution. But did you know that widespread problems of water pollution all over the world can kill people more than war zones and all violence combined, the whole entire world? That is really sad and unnecessary because we can save the land and our pollution. But there's the four main reasons of water pollution. First, we have industrial waste. Second, we have the sewages. Third, we have the oil leakages. And then fourth is a plastic waste. So first, talk about industrial waste. So we have all these pollutants such as lead, mercury, sulfur, and nitrates. These are all produced every year by industrial companies, and usually they're just drained into fresh water and then up in the sea, which also harms our sea life and everything. Second of all, we want to talk about sewage. The sewage and wastewater are all chemicals treated before released into the sea. They have to be treated with chemicals before released into the sea. And that's the problem because they carry harmful bacteria and damaging chemicals that can cause severe health problems for the sea and humans, in fact. Third reason is the oil leakages. So oil tankers that makes the environment running and everything running haven't been adequately protected and involved in accident, it can spill large quantities of oil into the sea. And just so you know, oil doesn't dissolve, so it can cause a huge damage into the sea, leaving it for years of water pollution. And the fourth and last one is the plastic waste. So plastic waste is the most problem we have in the entire world right now because we use as much plastic as we can, and we should try to save on that. So the humans population is not, they just use plastics and it's going to end up in the ocean eventually, which will harm and kill a great deal of our sea life. You can go next. Okay, so making a change. So we have to change it. We have to start changing it from right now. There is no quick fix for water pollution because it's taken us years to become heavily polluted and it will take us years to undo this. Because there are a few things we can improve. As first, we can start off with something. First of all, we can start off with public awareness. We can let people know that we need to change this. We need to start making the change because in a decade or two, you know, we have to undo it, this everything we do right now because it will take us decades and centuries to undo all of this. Second of all, we got to work together to keep the environment clean, make it healthy, a better world for plants, animals, and people because people depend on it. Us humans need this. We need to undo water pollution so we can live for more centuries and decades or forever after.
Global warming.
So the next topic we're going to be discussing is global warming. And so global warming occurs when carbon dioxide or CO2 and other air pollutants and greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere and absorb sunlight and solar radiation. And that bounces off the Earth's surface. And these pollutants trap the heat and cause the planet to get hotter. And this is basically what's known as the greenhouse effect. In the United States, the burning of fossil fuels to make electricity is the largest source of heat trapping pollution. and it produces about 2 billion tons of CO2 every year. Coal burning power plants are by far the biggest polluters, and the country's second largest source of carbon pollution is the transportation sector, which generates about 1.7 billion tons of CO2 emissions a year. And some of the effects of global warming include melting glaciers, early snowmelt, and severe droughts, which will cause more dramatic water shortages and increase the risk of wildfires in the American West. Rising sea levels will lead to coastal flooding on the eastern seaboard, especially in Florida and in other areas such as the Gulf of Mexico. Also, forest farms and cities will face troublesome new pests, heat waves, heavy downpours, and increased flooding. All these factors will damage or destroy agriculture and fisheries. In addition, disruption of habitats such as coral reefs and alpine meadows could drive many plant and animal species to extinction. And last, allergies, asthma, and infectious diseases outbreaks will become more common due to increased growth of pollen-producing ragweed, higher levels of air pollution, and the spread of conditions favorable to pathogens and mosquitoes.
Plastic pollution.
So plastic pollution is currently one of the largest forms of pollution that we have on our planet. In recent studies done by multiple different agencies, they have discovered that pollution has been rising steadily for the past 2 decades, and it went up over almost 6% between 2016 and 2018. So one of the problems is that people, especially Americans, produce a lot of trash that oftentimes is unnecessary. It was actually found that the average American produces almost 6 pounds of trash per day, and that equals 102 tons of trash. One of the frightening problems that this causes, especially with things like plastic, which do not break apart very easily or very quickly, is that it's going to gather up, and it's actually been estimated that by 2050, there will be more plastic in the ocean than there will be fish. So what's really sad about this is that most plastics can be recycled, and recycling is easily one of the best ways that people can help the environment. The EPA estimated that 75% of all the garbage that was thrown away could be recyclable. The shockingly huge amount of garbage that could be reused is pretty impressive, and it could save a lot of money in certain areas by reusing stuff that's already been created. There are also thousands of cleanup groups in the US alone, and almost all of them are supported through donations and organizations that are also supported through volunteering, which means that if you really want to help, then it's pretty easy to find a local volunteer area that you can help with. You continue.
Okay, land pollution. Land pollution. There are so many different types of land pollution that can affect not just only land, water, life, include agricultural practices that produce waste, radioactive processes, urban waste, industrial waste. Garbage is not just thrown away in the trash can like they should. Concussion activities, mining activities. How land pollution affects land animals. That animals that eat plants have grown in pollen soil have become ill and they can possibly die. Most affected to pollution are fish, alligators, and polar bears. Not only do animals die from ingestion the chemical, but they also become entangled or swallow the litter like trash. There are a lot of ways to prevent land pollution such as recycle, expand organic farming and food to reduce the use of harmful agricultural chemicals. A lot of scientists say the best way for now it will just expand organic farming and food, but it's unfortunately unlikely will happen since not a lot of people care about environment like they should. It's one way it's not a good thing for environment.
All right, we have some interesting facts for you guys here. So, did you know that over the past 50 years, the average global temperature has increased at least in the fastest rates in recorded history? That is great. Did you know that unless we curb global warming emissions, average US temperatures could increase by 10 degrees Fahrenheit over the next century? So, every century it could decrease or it could increase to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. There are approximately 40% of the lakes in America are too polluted for fishing, aquatic life, and swimming. So you can't swim, fish, for 40% of the lakes in America, which is, it's sad. And you got the fresh water on Earth is only 2.5% of the total water, when 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by water.
So we got more facts to be very interesting. Over the past 50 years, the world plastic production had doubled. Like, that's just crazy. The average time that a plastic bag is used for is 12 minutes. The average number of the total that died due to being entangled on recyclable plastic are 1,000 total per a year. Due to the land pollution, the Earth had lost possibly like 25 billion tons of viable topsoil each year. Up to like 80% of the land pollution is caused by energy production, food production, and transportation. And this is it. Hope y'all like the workshop. We enjoy explaining the harm of environment. Thank you for